G'day all and welcome to Freo Faithful for the teams for Saturday's game against the West Coast Eagles in Western Derby 61. Look, I was expecting one of the changes, but the other one's a bit, sorry, it hasn't thrown a massive spanner in the works. It's not like, Caleb Strong's been ruled out for the season, but it's Corey Wagner who's the surprising out. He is injured, apparently. Not sure when this happened. It must have been at main training today. I haven't actually seen JL's presser. Has it come out yet? JL's presser hasn't come out yet. So I don't know what's happening. He didn't do a presser today. We had main training today. So we had no idea that Wags would be a doubt. So, yeah, very, very interesting. But let's take a look at the team. Do you think Dudley wins the medal? Wouldn't mind that. That'd be unreal. Let's take a look at the teams. I reckon Caleb's going to win his fifth. Get your medal predictions in chat. Who do we think's going to win the old medal? Actually talking to chat. Let's see who's here. G'day, Blake. The team looks very well-rounded. Excited for Saturday. Just get let down. Respectable performance in the Stat Chat Creator Classic UCAT. That 50-year-old was tough competition. Oh, munners. We love Andy. Unfortunately, he did beat me. If you want to go see me put my footy knowledge to the test, go over to the Stat Chat YouTube channel. I was doing a little tournament for them. A minor ankle injury. Where have we gotten this from? I just need to. I've heard that as well, Isabella. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know where this has come from. I'm not sure why JL hasn't done a presser. Like, he always does a presser before main training. Where is the source for this? Sarong, but if he gets tagged, Brayshaw. I don't think he will get tagged. He might, maybe by a Hoff, but Hoff hasn't been tagging lately. So I think they're just going to let him go, which is great for us. What is the... Can someone tell me where this minor ankle injury thing's come from? Because I don't know... I'm just reading through everything about Corey Wagner in the past week, and there's nothing to do with an injury. So I just want to find the source of this information on the Fremantle app. That would mean it's on the website. Let's take a gaze. It would be on the Tab Touch team. Corey Wagner will be sidelined with a minor ankle injury. That's not ideal, is it? Wags missed the first derby as well. I think he was laid out in the derby in round 3 as well. It's not like we're about to play the grand final and we've lost Corey Wagner. We do have the West Coast Eagles who have just lost by 50 points to Richmond. But, yeah, Wags was laid out. So Wagner's not going to play a single... The only 2 games he's going to miss this year are the derbies. So poor old Wags. West Australian reported it. Behind a paywall today. Yeah, cheers. Shout out to the West Australian, Mitch Woodcock, Glenn Quartermain, Craig O'Donoghue, all the good people there. To be fair, the West Sports Show, great podcast. Anyway, we've gone on a tangent. We're 8 minutes in, haven't even talked about the lineups. Here are the 2 changes. Matt Johnson has been not omitted. He's injured. Corey Wagner's injured as well. Isaiah Dudley has come in and Neil Erasmus has come in. Both these blokes showing some very, very strong waffle form. And there is the 23. Ryan Cox McDonald, Chapman, Warner, Clark, O'Meara, Jackson, O'Driscoll. Luke Jackson named him in the middle of the park as a midfielder. We're a versatile team. Swikowski, Voss, Bolton, Frederick, Tracy Amos, Darcy, Sarong, Brayshaw. First time Darcy's been named in the ruck for a while. It's usually Jacko being named there. And then it is Bailey Banfield, Murphy Reid, Isaiah Dudley, Neil Erasmus, Hayden Young, still named on the bench. Josh Draper, Jeremy Sharp, Brandon Walker, the emergencies. So Youngie's still named on the bench. Not really that interesting. It's probably we're just going to start him on the interchange, manage his minutes. Not much to read into. He won't be sub. Murphy Reid won't be sub, and neither will Bailey Banfield. So it leaves the question, will it be Dudley or will it be Erasmus? I can nearly guarantee it will be Isaiah. No, I actually can't guarantee that. It will be either Dudley or Erasmus. I think we know that. Get your bets in the chat for who sub's going to be. But obviously won't be Young, Reid or Banfield. It's going to have to be Duds or Erasmus. How crazy, how quick the tides changed with Bailey Banfield. He was a professional sub a few years ago, even a professional sub last year. And now we're like, there's no way Banners can be sub. He's too good. We love banners. Here's the West Coast team. Jack Williams omitted. Jack Petruccelli omitted. Coming in, Archer Reed and Elijah Hewitt. Elijah Hewitt, a very, very good footballer. Archer Reed, I'm not going to disrespect him, but I can't say he's a superstar. I can't say he's much of an improvement on the omitted Jack Williams. And there is their 23. Tom Cole, Harry Edwards, Rhett Bazzo, Liam Duggan, Ruben Jimby, Tom McCarthy, Matt Owies, Tim Kelly, Jack Hutchinson, Tyler Brockman, Archer Reed, Liam Baker, Liam Ryan, Job Shanahan, Jamie Cripps, Matt Flynn, Brady Hoff, Harley Reid, Elijah Hewitt, Ryan Marrick, Clay Hall, Bailey Williams, Tyrell Dewar, with Noah Long, Jack Petruccelli, and Sandy Brock as the emergencies. In terms of their sub, oh boy, well, it won't be Bailey Williams. That would be silly. They're obviously going to double ruck. We actually don't often play teams with 2 rucks, but we did it last week and we took them down. So I've got faith we can take down the old Matt Flynn and Bailey Williams dual-wielded sword. Clay Hall, Ryan Marrick, Elijah Hewitt won't be sub. Dewar might be. Marrick will play winger. Marrick might. Ooh, who the hell is sub? It's either Marrick, Hall, or Dewar. But geez, they're all equally a bit iffy. I don't even know where to start with this. Who do we match up on? We might not even need a match up. Gee, it's good to be so. Should I be arrogant? Should I be arrogant? Should I be confident? Or should I be terrified? I've been terrified all week, but my confidence is slowly building. My sort of rule to myself in my personal life is in Derby week, do not talk football because you never know what's going to come back to bite you. I remember I was at my piss-taking best in the first Derby of last year, and look, it came back to bite me. It came back to bite me. So yeah, I'm going to stay a bit grounded, but geez, we should be doing a number on these lads. That back 6, I mean, Cole, Edwards, Bazzo, Duggan, Jimby, McCarthy. I don't know why Sandy Brock's not in the team. I quite like him. But Harry Edwards, Ruben Jimby, Rhett Bazzo, the 3 keys. Ruben usually gets the best forwards. I think Jimby might go to... But Jimby tends to stay quite deep. So I think he might get Voss. I think Jimby gets Voss. Harry Edwards will get Tracy. And I think Bazzo gets Amos, if I were to guess. They don't really have many lockdowns. I mean, Tom Cole's sort of a lockdown, but he's not very good at it. So maybe he gets Bolton, but God knows. Dudley might end up being in the 22, which he hasn't been for a while. He's either just been sub or in the waffle. So Duds might get a shot in the 22. I'm not sure. Duds had a very good derby. It was his debut earlier this year, the derby. Raz might be sub to give us... The thing is, our midfield rotation with Raz's sub would be Sarong, Brayshaw, Jackson, O'Meara, Bolton, Young. There's probably enough guys to go through there. Noddy if we need. So, no, maybe it will be Dudley. I think Dudley's going to be sub. Look at him. Dudley's going to be sub. I reckon Raz will get a game. Raz maybe against his future team. In terms of our backline on their forward line, I mean, their 2 key forwards there's 3 key forwards. The big 3, you could say, the real big 3. Archer Reid, Job Shanahan, and Bailey Williams. It's a scary task. Look, Job is a very good young player. Before Job debuted, I had heard a lot from my West Coast mates about how good he is, and he's lived up. He's a very, very good young footballer. He's only played a handful of games, but he looks very promising. I look back to that Collingwood game in particular, and he looks very good. Archer Reid, I don't really rate, and Bailey Williams I don't really rate either. So Job's probably the main bloke, but he's only played less than 5 games. So I don't know, maybe Brennan Cox goes to Job, Omac goes to Archer Reid. No, Omac goes to Williams. No, Omac goes to Williams because Williams is quite tall. I think he's 200. Yeah, he's 201. Omac goes to Williams. Luke Ryan goes to, I don't know. No, Archer Reid's also 200. They've got a really tall forward line. 2 blokes, 203 centimeters. Job might be the shortest out of the lot. Job's 195, yeah. Maybe Omac goes to Job. Nah, we can't do that. Cox goes to Job. Omac goes to Archer. And Luke Ryan goes to Bailey Williams. Maybe a bit undersized. I don't know how. We might not go one-on-one matchups. We might play a bit of a zone. I'm not sure how we're going to do that, but we actually are severely undersized compared to their very tall forward line. They've obviously got some dangerous smalls. Tyler Brockman when he's on. Liam Ryan had a really good game last week. We know what Jamie Cripps can do despite being out of form. So it's going to be interesting. No Corey Wagner also makes it interesting because whether we were going into the game with a tag on Harley Reid or not, we don't have the option to. So if we do want to have a run with roll, I'm not sure who we're actually going to put in that situation. So it's a very interesting one. Very, very interesting one. You met Marek at your workplace. He was doing laser tag. There you go. Ryan Marek, laser tag pro. Oscar McDonald for the medal, your favorite player. Imagine. Dud sub. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. Dud sub. Seems like the chat consensus. But they're my thoughts on the team. Not too much to write home about. Not ideal we lose Wags. We knew we were going to lose Jono. I think we'll get Jono. I think the timeline that Joe Bridie was talking about on radio was 3 to 4 weeks. So in that case, we get Jono back for maybe the last couple games or maybe the last game of the regular season before hopefully finals. So yeah, it's not disastrous for Jono. I know he's a bit of a whipping boy. I know on the podcast we sometimes get stuck into him for his ball use, but he is very important with his big body. And I don't think it's a catastrophic loss, but I certainly feel like we'd rather have him out there. Wagner's going to be a loss because he gives us a real different dynamic, whether it's halfback or in the midfield. So very interesting. Great to see Dudley get back in. Great to see Raz get back in. I reckon they'll both tear it up. And yeah, very happy with the team. Not too many changes. I mean, look, Wags and Jono were two of our weaker players against Collingwood. They didn't have bad games by any means, but in terms of the weakest links, they were probably down there. So not catastrophic, but we love both of them and we hope to see them back out there soon, especially Wags, because we've got no idea what that injury is. Hope it is just, as they said, a minor injury. Murphy Reid wins a medal. Murphy Reid masterclass. Oh, inject it. Yeah, get your medal predictions in the chat if you haven't already. We got 38 in here. If it's a thrashing, I reckon it'll be a forward that could win like Bruce, Tracy, Jackson, or even Vossi. That'd be huge. I reckon it's going to be Erasmus because Dudley did pretty good last derby. Yeah, could be. Will I be attending Portview Freo at the AO? I will not be doing that. Might be doing a watch party for that, though, here on Freo Faithful. Maybe. Probably. My prediction is that at least $15,000 worth of fines will be given out. Yeah. I don't know what West Coast... Because I don't think we're going to go in there with the intention to biff. We're going to go with the intention to smash him. All I want to do, I want to bring the same hunger we brought against Hawthorn and Collingwood to West Coast. Because if we do that, it could get scary for them. Bring the hunger, bring the intensity. Derbies can throw some spanners in the work. We know last time what happened. A lot of us were arrogant. I was arrogant, and we ended up losing to a Harley Reid carried West Coast Football Club. Elliot Yeo had a great game. He's not playing. So we can't be arrogant, but we definitely should win. I'll be confused if Marek sub. No, do not be arrogant. It's Freo. Sorry. To be fair, I should apologize for being arrogant. I forget the dockery things that the Fremantle Dockers can do. What happened to Wagner and Blake here? Yeah, apparently a minor ankle. Size of our defenders versus West Coast forwards won't matter if it's never down there. True, you're right. But also, when it is down there, I don't want them to be getting scores from limited entries because it just wouldn't be ideal, would it? Yeah, exactly. give him a week's break. Get him back for the Carlton or Port game and we'll be right. Looking nice and... There's just no need for that. I'm getting a proper shave after this. I'm not going to tell the story on... Love Scully, but has tipped Eagles to win and Harley Reid the medal. Right, Scully. That's just not on, is it? A bit off topic, but I listened to Scully's podcast with Dill Buckley the other day, and it was a very, very good podcast. Probably the best Dylan Friends I've listened to. So if you haven't already, go listen to that. It gets pretty deep. And I'm obviously, in case you weren't aware, I'm a Fremantle fan. But it was heavily, based around West Coast and his personal life, and I very much so enjoyed it. So if you're a podcast sort of person, then go and give that a geese. Sarong per normal for the medal. Sam O'Driscoll, any relation to Nathan or Emma? Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope Seba breaks the Hazelby record. Got to get the 100-point margin. 100-point. Gee, we'd like a 2023 repeat, wouldn't we? To climb up the ladder. No exceptions. We need JT Voss and Amos, the rest of the forward line firing. You will be. Have fun, Liam. Will Walker make it into the 23 this year? Yeah, to be honest, I said a couple of weeks ago he would quite confidently, but I'm actually not too sure anymore. Yeah, I'm not too sure anymore if he will. He's not really. I mean, he's not really getting a look in, is he? He's on the emergencies, but Will Brody's been on the emergencies before. So yeah, I don't know. Draper's there, Sharp's there. We've got some good depth. Like James H ain't even making the emergencies. He never puts a foot wrong. So I'm surprised James H hasn't come, I would have nearly rather to see H over Raz. No, that's actually a crazy call. That's a bit crazy. I'm just thinking, if one of them's going to be sub, I'd love an experienced head to come on, but maybe it will just be Duds as sub. I'm not sure what we're going to do. Thoughts on Judd McVee links? I'd love Judd McVee. We were speaking about a few weeks ago, the possibility of Trent Rivers or whatever as an extra halfback, but I think Judd McVee would be even better. Trent Rivers is a great footballer, but I reckon he plays his best football in the midfield, and we can't give him midfield time here. It's just not possible with who we've got. So if we can have an extra line breaker, Geordie Clark, the right footer, Judd McVee, the left footer, great ball user. I'd love Juddy. I reckon we could get him for a third rounder or something. Is he out of contract, actually? Melbourne out of contract players. Let me see. Melbourne Demons AFL player contracts. Judd McVee is not a free agent. He's got 4 years left. Okay, so I reckon we could get him for a third rounder, to be honest. Second cousin, know the father Brandon well, grew up farm next door, but never met Nathan, Emma, or Aiden. Well, we've got an O'Driscoll in chat, and that's all that matters. Yeah, we loved your second cousin's efforts on the weekend. He won't be in the team. Back six is too strong and locked in. Well, it's funny because I don't reckon our back six is that much continuity. I guess it sort of does. It's the only continuity that it doesn't have is we're chopping and changing that main or second key back. McDonald, Draper, Pierce. So once we hopefully get Pierce there fully, then I think we'll be all good. I've read that. I think in finals against the small forwards, Walker could get a gig. Yeah, very well could. Remember last time Walker played a final? Semi-final against Collingwood? We live and we learn. We forget about that semi-final. McVee or Cooper Simpson? Well, it's a good discussion to have. If we can get Judd McVee for a bag of chips, I'd absolutely take him. And then him and Cooper Simpson can have some competition. That's what we need. I'd love some competition. I don't want to bring Judd McVee in to play him at Peel because he's far good to be doing that. Far too good to be doing that. But, gee, I really rate him. I remember in his rookie season, I had him in fantasy. So I watched him very intently. And he is a gun. He gets the pill a lot. And a lot of the time, you'll get a young halfback that gets a lot of the pill and butchers the ball heaps. But he is such a good ball user. Very piercing left foot. I know we don't want all of our defenders to turn into midfielders, but geez, I can see potential for him being in the midfield, further on. But he can play lockdown roles. He can play rebounding roles. He's a really versatile player. 185 centimeters. He's played over 50 games now for Melbourne. He played for East Freo. And he got taken in the rookie draft as well. So I reckon we could get him pretty cheap, to be honest. And if we can, I'd love some competition. Who would McVee take out of the team? Yeah, Banfield. It would be Banners. And then you've got some competition. Walker, McVee, Simpson. It'd be great. Yeah. Look, I'm not sure how intently a lot of you watch Melbourne, but I'd suggest if McVee's playing, watch a Melbourne game, and I reckon you'll be impressed. He really butchers the ball, which is exactly what you want. 21 years of age, very composed. I've always been a big fan of his game, but I just expected that if he came back to WA, he'd be going to West Coast because, that's sort of where they're shopping. But we've been talking about this year how we'd love another line breaker. So yeah, and Judd McVee wants to leave from the sounds of it. So I'd love him. Do you get cold seeing in the nosebleeds each week? Ever considered a seat closer to the action? Well, I've got a membership, so buying a membership for sitting closer to the field would just cost abruptly more. So no, and also they're not nosebleeds really. I really like level 5. I get a much better sort of view on the game in a way. Like I love seeing how teams set up, defending through the corridor and set up behind the ball and just the ball movement from back to front. Like I feel like I can see way more of the game from level 5. Like in terms of doing the podcast each Monday, I don't feel like I deliver. I don't sit there because I do a podcast on the club. But I honestly don't feel like I'd be able to give the same sort of content sitting level 1 as when I do level 5. But I just prefer sitting there, to be honest. I put Notty on for first goal scorer every game this year, and only time it hit was the derby. Yeah, go on, Daniel. Get him on. The pick we got from Richmond in last year's trade period for McVeer, is that under... What pick did we get from Richmond? That was the Murphy Reed trade, wasn't it? Hold on. Shea Bolton trade. Let me see what we got. In trade with Richmond, we received Bolton pick 14 and a future third round selection. Okay, a future third. That's not unders, I don't think. I think we could get him for a third. I'd give up a second for him. But I think we could get him for a third. He's 21. It's basically like a rookie with AFL experience. I'd love him. G'day, Blake. Do you view Josh Draper as a long-term Alex Pearce replacement, or is there a more conventional fullback in the wings? Not really, to be honest. It's funny. I actually see... I don't know why. I see a bit of Will Schofield in Josh Draper. Like, tall, can play a key defensive role, can play a lockdown role, but has also got a bit of dash. And I'm not saying his ceiling is Will Schofield, because that wouldn't be a massively high ceiling. But I see a bit of it in him. I'm not sure why that's my comparison, but I'm not... Yeah, just what I see. Will Voska an extension? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He loves it here. We love him. What would you do with Sharp's contract? Well, I guess we can have a chat now. We'll do that. It's fun. When the season ends, we'll do after the premiership celebration videos. We'll do contract talk and trade talk and draft talk. So there'll be heaps of content in that vein. So if you're worried that Freo Faithful is going to go away in the off season, you'd be mistaken. There'll be a lot of content covering all that. So yeah. 365-day operation here. Preview will be out tomorrow. I couldn't get Jesse on the channel this week. I'm very sorry. I gave him a message, but he's got some work commitments, old Jess. So yeah, couldn't get him on this week. So apologies if you're craving the Oppo view, if you're craving Jesse. Not many people are, but I think Freddie's expendable. Maybe he's sort of a weaker link in our front six, but I still feel like he brings something. I feel like he brings speed. I feel like he's got enough polish. Like sometimes it's a brain fade, but I like Freddie. I think he's a bit of a whipping boy as well. I think Banners has sort of had that sort of term going off him. I mean, especially after that corridor kick last week. But Banners had one bad game against Sydney, and the whipping boy really came out. So yeah, need to tag Reed. Well, I'm not sure who we're going to tag with because Wags isn't in. I crave the Oppo view. Yeah, we haven't had the Oppo view for a few weeks. Apologies. I'll try to get Terry on next week from Blue Abroad. That is what I'm going to try and do. I think we'll be able to. So stay tuned. Yeah. Anyway, back to this. I don't really see him as a long-term replacement. And back to this, what we do with Sharp's contract. I want to see the Fremantle contract situations because I can basically confirm contracts. I can basically confirm that Quinton Narkle will get delisted. We've had him for a year, but he only got a 1-year deal. So the free agents we've got are Jeremy Sharp, Michael Walton. Well, not him. Jeremy Sharp, Nat Fyfe, Oscar McDonald, Quinton Narkle. So I think Omac's going to get another year. As much as you can like it or not, I think Omac's going to get another year for depth. I think Narkle will get delisted. I think Fife will retire. Like, there's no way we're giving Fife another year. Like, I just don't see it. I think this is absolutely his last season. And I think Jeremy Sharp, I think we'll keep Sharpie on, but I wouldn't be surprised if we delist him. I think we'll keep him on, though. James Aish is out of contract, interestingly. I think he might get delisted and go to another club because he's not even 30 yet. But I really like Aishi. Carl Warner's out of contract. What do you mean? It says he's a non-free agent, but he's out of contract. What does that mean? Carl Warner out of contract. What is happening here? Sign the papers, Carl. Liam Reedy out of contract. We'll keep Liam Reedy. We need a third ruck. Odin Jones out of contract. I feel like Odin might go. Raz out of contract. I think he's out the door. I don't see a world in which Raz stays. So I think McDonald, Reedy, Warner stay. And I think we'll keep Deline. Oh, no, Deline might have to go. We're going to have to delist a few guys because we're going to get Toby Wan and Lucas Robinson through the draft and GA. If we go for a guy like Judd McVie, I'm sure we're going to get someone else in the trade period that would just... Like, remember when we got Jago O'Meara in? That was a bit of a random one, but, you know, we might get someone random like that. You know, we brought Oscar McDonald in as an SSP last year, was it? Yeah, last year. We brought Paddy Voss in as an SSP the year before, so... Yeah, or last year. So, yeah, it's interesting. If Carlton win tonight, the Hawks are on shaky. Yeah, look, I hate to say it on Freo Faithful, especially, but up the Blues. We would love a Carlton win tonight. I reckon Dogs and Power are only games left where we aren't favourites. Port's a super interesting one. He's a real interesting one. Oh, sorry, that is a real interesting one because we've never won at the Adelaide Oval against Port. So, yeah. Interesting game, that one. We need another Hayden Young. Well, I'd love Jacob Barrow, WA, from the draft. He just got named in the under-18 All-Australian. He actually ended up being the best WA player in the under-18s. So, yeah. I'd love a Jacob Farrow. I watched him in the first 18s game at Laughlane and far out. He wasn't even on the draft boards before that game, and his left foot, I think, caught everyone's eye. He was on fire. So from what I've watched from him, I watched him play SA as well, and yeah, he's a gun. So if we could get him in the draft, I mean, it's a tall task. We probably have to trade a little bit up the order, but I'd love him because with our earlier picks we've already got, we're probably going to take Toby Wan as the NGA Academy bid. But if we can get a Farrow, then geez, we'd be cooking, to be honest. I've heard Seamus Mitchell, Jai Sarong, and Judd Seamus Mitchell. I'd like Seamus. Funny bloke as well. He's all over the Hawks socials, old Seamus. Seamus Mitchell Freo. Is he from WA? No, he's not. Where have you heard Seamus Mitchell Freo? I've not heard anything about Seamus Mitchell going to... Hold up. Seamus Mitchell. Let's take a look. Rival clubs are keeping close watch on Jai Sarong. I've heard Jai Sarong. I think we are going to get Jai Sarong. I do think we are going to. With his brother entrenched at Fremantle as a coach, the Dockers loom as a potential destination should Jai consider a move. Mitchell is shaping as a ready man. We want to get Seamus Mitchell. That would make no sense. He's from Victoria. Yeah, that would make no sense. I think we actually are going to get both McVie and Sarong in this trade period. Having the Sarong brothers running out there would be elite. Not sure we need Reedy as a ruck with Omac and Voss on the list. Oh, we definitely do. We definitely need a third choice first ruck. Like, injury strike and it is disaster. We cannot be relying on Omac and Voss. Like, we are absolutely not going into a game with Omac and Voss as first choice rucks. It just can't happen. So we certainly will keep Reedy on the list. Or if we don't keep Reedy on the list, we'll get another actual ruck. There's no way we go in with no third choice ruck. 2 Hayden Youngs would be better than 1 if we could get another lethal lefty. Yeah, well, Judd. Get Juddy in. Only reason I see Jai Sarong coming to Freo is because, it's been rumoured. Like, I think we actually are going to get Jai. How do you feel about that bloke? I forgot his name. Plays for Colts for South Freo and is from the same area as Fife. Colts to South Freo. Well, it could be Toby Wan. Could be Rodriguez. Not sure. Do we target a Nick Dacos in the trade and give the Pies maybe a Jack Delan in a future second? I'm not sure why I even considered that message. I'm that tired. No, yeah, let's offer Collingwood that. They'll accept it in a heartbeat. Would we get an early second for Raz? I'm not sure how compensation even works anymore. It was a thing. I could be wrong. My bad if I am. What was your comment? Yeah, no, you're right with two of them. Judd McVie and Jai Sarong are absolutely linked to Freo. I haven't heard about Seamus Mitchell. Yeah, he's actually fallen a bit in the mock drafts. He had a very good carnival, and he got named MVP for WA. But I feel like he's going to go to Vic. That's my sort of inkling. But he's very, very Fife-like in the way he plays. What do you think Freo has this year compared to the 2013 Grand Final squad? Well, I think we've got a better list, first and foremost. Like, we had some real, I'm not going to say duds, but certainly wasn't a Grand Final team we rolled out on Grand Final day. It was just Rossline coached that team to perfection. Rossline had a lot of Luca Beveridge tendencies in his ability to get some pretty mediocre teams pretty far. Like, our team had some really good talent, don't get me wrong. But it was more of a unit as opposed to individual talent. Like, at back six in that Grand Final, Michael Johnson, Zach Dawson, Paul Duffield, Lee Spur, Luke McFarlane, Daniel Pearce. Like, it's not star-studded. Like, even our midfield, Sandilands, De Boer, Hill, Crowley, Mundy. Fife was sort of playing forward. Like, it wasn't Mzungu. It wasn't star-studded. It was more of a unit. So, like, we had Cam Sutcliffe on a half-forward flank. Like, yeah, it wasn't an incredible team. But I think we've just got more individual talent now, which I think's the difference. I think we've also won more big games than we did in 2013 away from home, if you know what I mean. Like, we won some big ones at home in 2013, but I think away from home we won some ones that we shouldn't have this year. I think Freo have done enough of getting 2 first-round trades and need some cheap role player. Yeah, I agree. I think a McVie would be great. Robinson is from Lake Grace. Yep. He does support Freo. I actually played junior footy with him. A lot of Facebook Freo Matchworn pages have seen a lot of Erasmus stock as of late. Even got rid of his Peel Grand Final jumper. I did see that. I think Raz is gone. I'm not sure whether that even links in or whatnot. But yeah, I think Raz is gone. I don't really see a world in which he stays, to be honest. Do you think you can spot elite talent in 12-year-olds? Because I know a kid that dominates. Maybe. I think sometimes you can just tell. I think sometimes you can just tell with a player that they're going to make it from a very young age. You can tell. If you think he's just like AFL players are absolutely elite as a junior. They don't just like get by and have decent games. They dominate. So yeah, you can sort of tell. Freo to make a late play for Naz. Oh, don't get me excited. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly check. We've been on here for a while, but I'm enjoying this chat because the teams didn't leave a lot to discuss. Like, what are we going to discuss, realistically? Who the main threats for West Coast are? The subs for Hawthorn and Carlton. Just checking my fantasy isn't affected. It's not. Beautiful. McFarlane, Pavlich, Fife Hill. Oh, no, they're not bad players. I'm saying we did have stars in that team. Don't get me wrong. But it wasn't as star-studded as we are now. Like, we are star-studded. Like, they were probably our 4 best players. You'd chuck Mundy in there probably. But like, Chris Mann was a really good role player. I think in the watch party on the weekend, someone compared the role Amos plays to what Chris Mann played, and I think that's perfect. I think Amos is certainly a role player in our forward line, not necessarily the spearhead. So, yeah, I think our forward line this year is very similar to what we had back then. Very, very similar. Jesus Christ. The problem with the 2013 Grand Final, we can never play attacking and couldn't aim. Oh, yeah, it was probably a game plan issue. And Hawthorn had just lost the Grand Final the year before. They were so hungry. That's why we're not going to play Sydney in the Grand Final this year, I guess. So it's it'll be a different sort of proposition, whoever we play. Jeff Armour was sick. We would have loved him in that grand final. He would have kicked straight. Erasmus will 10,000% leave, but it opens us up for more players. Yeah, I'm not sure what Raz's contract is. I doubt he'd be on too much. Probably still a rookie contract, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it will open a list spot, I guess. The thing is, I'd really like to keep Raz, to be honest. I really would. He'd be really good midfield depth. And you think about, he's already really high in the pecking order in terms of the midfielders that aren't currently in the 22. The definition of a fringe player is Neil Erasmus. And that Fife's going to retire. He's going to move straight into Fifey's sort of position. And I think Erasmus could end up being best 23 from that. So, yeah. Hoping Carlson send off Doc. Yeah, it's one of the rare times we hope Carlson win because we want to send off a great bloke in Sam Doherty. Great career, great bloke, incredible adversity he's overcome. And we really want Hawthorn to lose for our ladder position. Who did I trade in for fantasy? I have gone... I'm pretty happy with my trades this week. I've gone Manny Liddy down to Ashton Moyer. And I've gone Nick Martin to Nazaya Wangane Miller, which I haven't had Naz all year. And I've still had a decent year in fantasy. But I haven't had Naz all year. So I'm quite happy to finally be getting him. Chuck the VC on Andy against West Coast. Does Will Brodie got a contract when he becomes out of contract? He's out of contract end of next year. So, no, he won't. He'll get delisted next year. You got a list of Freo players out of contracts of the out of contract, what, this year or next year? Nah, I didn't. I got rid of Rosie last week. And I know Rosie's back this week. But it was just to get the extra 100K and it's allowed me to get Naz this week. So it's all sort of worked out. Yeah. Just with DPP, how my team was set up. It's sort of, what I did. And I'm not too disappointed about not keeping a Connor Rosé with a broken hand. Erasmus for Bo Allen. To be honest, I don't rate Bo Allen overly highly. I think Erasmus is a better player, but obviously it's Bo Allen's first year, so it's hard to say. And he won a premiership with Peel, so he'd love the lads. He's a Freo fan. It'd be a very sideways trade. I do have Whitfield, yeah, who's probably going to get tagged this week. Next year. Yeah, I can try and get that up if you want me to. I can. Here we go. What a website Footy Wire is, by the way. Fremantle out contract players next year. Aidan Riddle, Bailey Banfield, Charlie Nichols, Corey Wagner, Hugh Davies, Isaiah Dudley, Jagger O'Meara, Jaron Carr, Matt Johnson, Michael Frederick, Nathan O'Driscoll, Ollie Murphy, Pat Voss, Sam Sturt, Sam Switkowski, Will Brodie. So, Swit up. Sign the contract, please, mate. We want to sign up Switter, Sturt, Vossi, Noddy, Freddie, Jono, Jager, Duds, Wags, Banners. We want to sign all those guys up. So Will Brodie will get delisted. Ollie Murphy, I tell you what, he's been playing at half. We drafted him as a key defender, very, very highly touted. He's moved to half forward. He struggled at Peel. If Ollie doesn't crack through in the next 365 days, he's out of the door. Jaron Carr's probably going to have to show something to get a gig. Hugh Davies is probably on the ropes as well because he's been here for a while. Charlie Nichols, we are absolutely keeping. Charlie Nichols will get a debut next year. Charlie Nichols is really, really good. He will be a good player for this footy club. It's very rare you draft a key position player or a key forward especially, and you watch him at WAFL level and you think, geez, that bloke's a player because they take so long to develop. So Charlie Nichols will get a debut next year. He's a gun. I think Banfield cops too much hate. Yeah, we love Banners. He's become the most loved player in the fan base. Did Bowen break his leg? Did he? I don't think he broke it. I saw lower leg. That's what I saw. I can take a look for you. When does the footy start? Footy starts in 10 minutes. I'll get off before then. See it. I can let you all go and watch the footy. Sorry, I just sniffed right into the mic. Bowen suffered a training injury, latest blow for the luckless first year Eagle. He's pretty injury prone, isn't he, old mate? Poor guy. I do like Bo because he supported Freo growing up. To be honest, I wasn't a massive fan of Reuben Jimmy before this year, but he played some good and fair footy. I found out this week that he supported Freo growing up. He got asked in his press conference during the week, what is some of your favourite derby memories from growing up? And he was like, I supported Freo growing up. So watching, Sonny, Fifey, All those lads. I loved Freo. And he couldn't name any West Coast players. So he's a Docker through and through, Ruben. So let's target him. Charlie Nichols, good back and forward or just up front? Nah, he's more of a forward, but I think he's got the ability to swing down back. But we'd like a key forward coming through. We'd also like a key back, to be fair. I think we probably do need to draft a key position player in the draft this year. When you think about it, Banner's a halfback's very similar to Liam Duggan. I'm not even sure who's better because Liam Duggan has had a stinking year. Do you spend your Thursday at school in the back row designing the team posts, always on it straight away? No. It's funny you think about that. So the team cover, like the first slide on the post, I haven't made on Monday with different players, depending on who's into the team. And then the teams come out at 4:20 and I'm home by 4:20. So I've already got the template up. I've got the template ready and I just need to edit the names and chuck it up on Instagram. Where do you design the graphics? Just on Photoshop. Yeah, my computer. I've got a massive folder of just Freo Faithful stuff. I've got about 50 Photoshop files here. Full-time score white, full-time score purple, game day 2, game day Instagram. There's a lot here. There's a lot. Neil is only contracted till the 2025 season. He most likely would have re-signed. Do you think Sharp will re-sign? Sharp might not re-sign. Depends how many games we give him. But he was pretty keen to come here. I'm not sure. He might turn into a Brody situation potentially. Erasmus is 100% out the door. So I think you can probably lock that in. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up there. We've been on for nearly an hour for the Fremantle West Coast teams, which is baffling considering we've only made 2 expected changes. Just to recap, the 2 changes we've made, 2 injuries to Matt Johnson and Corey Wagner coming into the team, Isaiah Dudley and Neil Erasmus. For West Coast, they've had 2 omissions, Jack Williams and Jack Petricelli. Coming in, Archer Reed and Elijah Hewitt. Thank you all for watching Up the Dockers. The preview will be out tomorrow on Spotify and YouTube. So you can listen or watch that wherever you want. Thanks for watching Up the Dockers. And I will see you for the preview tomorrow. The fan cams on Saturday. And all the content throughout the rest of the weekend and next week. Cheers. Have a good one. Thanks for all the support. And also thank you for 900 subs. Much appreciated on the final road to 1K now, which is an incredible effort for a Freo fan channel in its first year of existence. Thank you all. Have a good one. See you next time.